Ho, everybody. Jim, our one and only show this week, folks. I'll tell you ahead of time, this is being pre-recorded on Friday, April 26th. So if you're hearing this, and a lot's happened, we'll tell you the following week. Scheduled. It's our only show. Show this week, folks. And we had to
past history will tell us something big will hit.
Something the minute we're done. Jim, on this episode, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff I wrote down that I can't read. So let's get through this. Biden's capital gains tax proposal. I'm sure that's going to be great for us. Surprise. Yeah. Surprise. The GDP didn't rise as much as they said it was going to. They never revise that. AOC gets schooled. By who? Jim's going to tell us. Harvey Weinstein gets away with rape. Waiting for the Me Too movement to jump in. Adam Schiff. His luggage gets stolen. We'll tell you where. Trump's numbers in swing states. They're looking pretty good still. Well, of course, we're going to go into the presidential immunity trial. And of course, he's still on trial in New York and can't campaign, but he's finding a way to. And we'll show you some videos and talk about who's supporting him. And also USC cancels graduations. Why did they do that? I think we know why. We'll get into it. That's so much more, Jim, on the one episode this week of what?
Two guys.
Yes.
One coup.
Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Play it out.
I'm trying to get in front of a live studio audience, Jim. And we can't. Interesting thing here, real quick.
Don't you have the sound thing?
Oh, I've got it all. I've got the clapping.
There's got to be a clap track in there somewhere.
Ooh, there is.
Clap track. But that could be taken a whole different way, couldn't it? Clap track.
Yeah. They don't even know what the clap is anymore.
I know.
Is that even a thing?
Kids today, anymore? What the hell's that? Yeah.
Yeah. You crazy kids don't even know sexual diseases like we used to, You got it easy these days, kids. Got it easy. I was about to head into something before we started talking about STDs.
This happens all the time.
Yeah, about to jump right into something, and then of course we get STDs, and now I just can't stop thinking about them. I don't know. Let's just get into this. It'll come back to me. The Supreme Court of the United States is hearing arguments from Jack Smith's group on presidential immunity again. It's being recorded Friday, so whatever happens from them until you hear this is what we know at the time. It's a little shaky, at least from a standpoint from what I can understand. Listen, I'm sitting there listening to the arguments, and I'm not only just not a legal scholar, I'm not even a scholar. So, I listen to the arguments back and forth, and I think I'm getting the gist of it all. I think the case is it's all about presidential immunity. And now there's a difference between performing an act as president as opposed to a private act. So for instance, they use an example of President Trump picks up a paperweight and he clobbers AOC over the head and she splits her head open and dies. Is he immune from that while he's president? Well, of course not. Of course not.
Well,
what? No, come on.
Anyway.
So what I'm saying is, Jim, you're going to incite a riot.
I know.
And so, I mean, there's just some blatantly obvious things here. And so the argument is presidents are immune from all acts as acting as president, such as you trust in your attorney general to tell you this is lawful and you can do this. And then all of a sudden you do it and it turns out, it's wrong. So the issue here is, and I think President Trump's going to be fine here. I do. I really do. I think there's a couple, I don't think any of the liberal judges are ever that they're going to vote with the prosecution. No doubt about it. 100%. Right. Well, I still fear, I fear though, that Chief Justice Roberts
it's 5-4.
What's that?
5-4 then. The other ones will not.
Barrett's a little shaky on this one to me. And if you heard her questioning, it's a little shaky. So even if they vote on it, personally, I think they're going to throw it back to the lower court. I don't think there's a standing here. There's not a precedent. This is a really, really, really important case, folks, because it will set precedent for the future of the country. Okay.
Right. For the Jack Smith trial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he should have for the January 6th, it should have presidential immunity. The documents, all of that stuff. Now, the stuff with the hush money and all that stuff, no, he should not be immune from that because that was even before he was president. So, anyway, but it's still a joke that it's going
that
on.
Trying to make a felony out of.
Yeah, don't take the wrong way what I'm saying. Yes, okay, those are not ones that can be held president, right?
Correct.
But I'm just saying that
But they're trying to turn it that way because he interfered with the election. I mean, what they're doing. They're throwing every piece of shit towards the wall and hopefully something sticks.
Right.
I think this will be fine, but I don't know if you know who Mike Davis is, and I'm a little familiar with him, but he's the former chief counsel for nominations to Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley. He had a little synopsis and what he thinks, and he also thinks that Barrett could be a little shaky here, but I'm going to play that and it'll kind of give you an idea of where this might be going.
The Supreme Court. President Trump is going to win a narrow victory here. It's going to be 5-4, maybe 6-3, depending on how Justice Amy Coney Barrett rules. The Supreme Court is going to rule very narrowly that the President of the United States, any president of the United States, is immune from criminal prosecution for their official acts, not their personal acts. I'd say 80% of Jack Smith's case is going to be gone. And by the way, he's not going to be able to try President Trump before the election. President Trump's going to win. His acting attorney general on day one is going to dismiss this case with prejudice, as he should. And then his acting attorney general will almost certainly open a criminal probe on President Biden, these Democrat prosecutors, these Democrat judges, these Democrat witnesses, these Democrat operatives, like the lawfare crew, like Andrew Weissman, who have, looks like, run an illegal criminal conspiracy to violate civil rights. And I can't wait for that. I'm going to be all in for that.
Well, that's a nice pipe dream. I hope it happens that way, exactly that way. I do agree with him on the very narrow victory, I think, for Donald Trump in this one. If they decide to even rule on it, I still think they might throw it back to the lower courts on it because there's a lot of difference between private and as a president act, so.
Well, they might throw it back concerning. They think this there's nothing here.
Well, of course,
do that. So.
They may do that too, and or as times do that. How do they want to go down in history on one side or the other on this?
Right.
If they rule against Trump on this, boy, oh boy, what will that do for the remainder of a president's terms and future presidents? And they'll be afraid to act.
I don't think they will rule on it to where President Trump loses this. Mm-hmm. It's either going to get thrown down to the lower court. They're not even going to hear it. They're not even going to, they're not even going to rule on it, or it will be a 5-4 margin. Or they're not going to go the other way. They're not going to go the other way. I think that's
they aren't.
No.
You're right. I'm going to try to get through a couple of videos here of other things going on. Of course, we're talking about this.
Do you have one of the videos with Kajami Brown versus?
I do not have that. Lawyer? You talking about the audio of it? Because there's obviously no video. Yeah. There's a lot of audio.
Folks, I got to tell you, if that audio did not tell you she does not belong in the Supreme Court, I can't help.
What was that one? I don't. What was it referring to? Do you remember? Or
it was referring to the whole. It was.
But I don't know the questioning.
It was about another president should. Yeah, there was just a question. I mean, there was a lot of different ones out there.
Kavanaugh had another great one. Was it the assassination?
It kind of was a little bit to that nature where the lawyer from Trump, I can't think of it right now because I listened to Kavanaugh's response. And
I know, me too. I listened to Gorsuch. I listened to Barrett. I listened to Alito. I listened to, I mean, I listened to them all. I did. I wasn't.
Tommy Brown just has proven time and time again she doesn't belong there. She just doesn't
belong there. And of course, the question is, they asked, well, should Obama be held responsible for the drone strikes? What about George W. Bush for invading Iraq and putting establishing? That's the precedent you're establishing. Should Bush be responsible for Iraq? There was no weapons of mass destruction. Are these the things that we're going back? FDR putting Japanese in containment camps. I mean, how far back are you going? A president has to be able to rule according to what he is told is follow the law. And again, the argument again for Trump is that, well, he needs to be impeached and convicted. If he's impeached or impeached completely and removed as president, that's a crime, but none of that's happened. You could sit there and say he's been impeached twice from the House. He was not impeached by the Senate. He was not. That's not what happened. So anyways, we'll pay close attention to that all the while he's sitting in New York, Jim, obviously at another trial for the old hush money case, and can't go out on the campaign trail. Jim, do you want to talk a little bit about the union workers, or you want to get into that story?
Yeah, real quick, because I know you want to get into the video. Guys, let me see. Pull this up here.
We'll just keep going back and forth on this show today, Jim.
Yeah, that's fine.
You were not prepared for that. It's my fault for that.
No, it's not.
You were ready with something else, and I did not. Lost it, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Okay, what we want to talk about? Well, real quick, we don't need. The union right now is 3-1 in favor of Trump in New York.
3-1. Yep. 3-1.
3-1 in New York, folks, and that doesn't. I mean, if that doesn't tell you something about what is really going on here, I don't know what to tell you, because when he is up 3-1, 3-1.
I mean, that's a lot. That's
for a union that has always been Democrat. Always. Maybe with the exception of Reagan. I think Reagan might have taken something at that time. But, other than that, it's been...
Yep. It has been.
Man,
do you want me to play some of the interviews with the union workers? Yes, I got two union workers, and then I've got the steam fitters union president also on here. This first one, language warning, but here's the interview, and it's real quick. Super quick.
A union guy with language?
So many Republicans in Manhattan, so many Trump supporters in Manhattan. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all. It's turning now. Trump's turn again.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Fuck you.
Oh, he's so much in trouble. But that was so awesome.
Does that look like a guy that cares? Does Guido look like a guy who cares?
That was so cool.
It is cool.
Union guy.
The best. Union guy. And here's another union guy.
A lot of people are talking about how unusual it is to see so many Trump supporters in Manhattan at 4, 5, 6 in the morning. Does that surprise you?
No, absolutely not. Demographics have changed. The administration that's in there right now isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not taking care of American people. So we need somebody in there to take care of American people. That's it.
What's your message to Joe Biden?
Joe Biden, give it up.
That wasn't so harsh.
No. Give it up. But this guy's asking. So then the steam fitters union president spoke about why this is all taking place, actually, which is interesting. So here's that one.
It was great to see the president coming and engaging with the blue-collar worker of New York City. We basically built New York. The union movement has made the middle class. And we are very patriotic union, and we are pro-America. So my members right now, I put out a poll in my union. President Trump is leading Joe Biden 3-1 on my presidential poll out of my 9,000 members right now. We are very tired of the situation with groceries, inflation, gas prices, illegal immigration, crime. We're living it every day in New York City.
Yep. I mean, that's the truth. They're living it everywhere across the country. And I'm sorry, he was the manager for that union. I said president. That was, I want to make sure I correct that. That's
3-1.
3-1. 3-1, Jim. And that's impressive. Trump went and greeted some of the workers. You want to see some of that real quick?
So you can watch the eclipse. Yeah. This one you could watch with. Did you wear it for the eclipse? Yeah, I did. Thank you. Well, how you doing, man? Thank you.
I hope you like the shirt.
Thank you, Mr.
New York. Yeah.
This is New York.
Yeah. New York, dude. I mean, come on. In New York. I love it. Here's what I love. Here's why, absolutely why I love Trump. He's not allowed to leave. He's got to stay there because of the bogus trial, hush money trial. He just keeps campaigning and campaigning and campaigning. And the news keeps covering him and covering him and covering him and covering him. And
he didn't have to spend money to travel to New York.
He didn't have to spend money. That's right. There he is. You know, this is what amazes me about all you Trump haters out there and you never Trumpers. And we had, I don't know how many we still have left listening to us, never Trumpers. Hopefully none. But, you know, we know some
there's still
never Trumpers. Yeah. This is a guy you didn't pay for 4 years. Didn't cost you anything. You didn't pay him for 4 years and you chastise him and you just belittle him and you try to, you just absolutely, every name in the book this guy's been called. You paid Joe Biden
Look
for
at everything
45
he
years.
Did.
You paid Joe Biden for
look
45 years and
it's
great. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Just look at everything he did when he was president.
Yeah.
Always being harassed.
Always
by the left. He was never not being called out somewhere. He was never
correct.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi ripping the speech right in front. Just
it doesn't.
But look at
matter.
what he did.
Look at what he did. Look
even with all of that. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you know what he did. What he was. Yeah. He did what he ran on.
Would you think, Jim? Do you think a Bloomberg poll is more left or right leaning or more centric? I'll give you the three.
I would to the left.
To the left. Trump is the latest polling from Bloomberg on the rematch between Trump and Biden. Trump is being prosecuted in a show trial circus across Manhattan that serious observers know is both complete nonsense and utter disgrace. On top of that, Trump is subject to a gag order. Absolutely unconstitutional, by the way. He also obligated to be in court 4 out of 5 days a week and thus not campaigning in swing states. Despite all this, Trump is surging in the swing states, according to the new Bloomberg numbers, with Trump's lead increasing to 7 and 8 points in Arizona and Nevada, respectively, and to an astonishing 10-point lead in North Carolina. Trump is up in Georgia by 6 points and in Wisconsin by 4. But Biden leads Michigan by 2 points, but that's the margin of error on this polling. Michigan.
Curious on Pennsylvania.
Yeah, me too. Now, they say something in this article that is very, I think, different. They talk about when he picks a running mate, what that's really going to do to his poll numbers, and is it that important? Running mates typically aren't as important. I think it is important on this one, but they've got some names on here that I wasn't. There's names here on here that I'm not familiar with. Not that I'm not familiar with, that I've never heard being mentioned as vice president. Mike Pompeo, a little bit of rumblings about that. Senator Tom Cotton.
I like Mike Pompeo, but no.
Senator Tom Cotton.
Interesting. But 2 white guys? No.
Joni Ernst. Okay, yeah, 2 white guys. Joni Ernst.
That's
National Security Advisor Ambassador Robert O'Brien.
Never heard of him.
I'm sorry.
Well, I probably.
Or either a Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin or North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. None of those are going to push him over the top. I don't. And I like Tom Cotton. I like Burgum. I like Youngkin. I like these people.
Burgum, Youngkin, and Cotton are fantastic, right? Exactly.
Pompeo's. Exactly. I like Pompeo.
Joni Ernst.
But Joni Ernst doesn't make sense to me at all. You know,
you might get some. You might get a few. independents?
You might. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I don't think any of those are really going to, but the issues are, and this is what people are talking about on, in their around the dinner table. They're not talking about, the bullshit stuff. They're talking about the border, crime, DEI, education, inflation, and Israel. I mean, that is the subjects that are out there right now. None of those is Biden on the right side here with. So
of the
go on.
Of the candidates that we talked about the other day when I laid those out, where the Democrats are going after him. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the one person that nobody can really go after because everybody likes the guy, Ben Carson.
I know.
If you think about it, even Whoopi Goldberg likes him.
Do you know he's going to be 72? Ben Carson?
Well, does it matter?
No. That's my question. I just was shocked. He literally.
To me, that's that right there. To me, puts him over the top. I personally think that just right. But I do, and look, I am not saying these names because they're black and there need to be tokens. I'm saying these names because I think they'd be very strong vice presidential candidate. And we are talking Tim Scott. Byron Donald might be a little too soon, but I think he would be phenomenal at it. And of course, Kristi Noem,
I think is phenomenal.
I think Kristi Noem would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
but they're both the same type of person. You got to have that. Not as wimpy as Pence was.
Oh God,
okay, because Mike Pence was just. I mean, he was. Let's face it, he was President Trump's bitch. That's pretty much what Mike Pence was. Now, Tim Scott and Byron Donald will be a little bit more because they were in the Senate, Byron Donald's Congress, but doing all that stuff. And Ben Carson, I dare somebody to say something bad about him.
I'm looking for. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for his pick to potentially be the 2028 nominee. Okay.
Well,
that's what
that's a good point too. So two of those people I mentioned, right there.
True.
Three.
But I'm thinking more along the Vivek Ramaswamy guy. I know he'll be in his cabinet. I get that. He probably is polarizing, but you know me, I'm a huge fan of him. So
we both are. I mean,
we both are. But it'd be hard. I understand the whole not vice president thing. I understand all that. I just look for somebody to take over the reins in 2028. That's all. So it's to me, it's got to be somebody.
The only message I send, which
and Mike Pompeo
is listen to me anyway. Like the reason, not that these aren't qualified individuals, but you have qualified individuals of many races. Okay, many color, many things. I don't need two old white guys.
I know.
Running for the Republican ticket. We are moving beyond that. That is not us anymore. Nobody.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
I mean, the old Republican Party, that's what it was. Okay, I get it. But that's
wait
not
a second,
what
Jim.
they
I disagree
are now.
with you because if it's an old white guy and he's more qualified for the job than anybody else, I don't care.
I'm going DEI right now. No, anyway.
You are dead.
Look,
you are DEI in it. Yep.
I just sit there. Here's why I want this to happen.
Earn it.
Look,
that's what
all
it
those
stands
people,
for, DEI.
All those people sat there that I mentioned, the Tim Scotts, the Byron Donalds, the Vivek Ramaswamy, Kristi Noems, all of these individuals that we discussed, Ben Carson. The reason I bring them up is not because necessarily what they are. It's just showing you, folks, this is a man of color who believes conservatism is the way to go. And that's why they become, that's what I want everybody to see. It has nothing to do with that, but
I get that.
We're there. I mean, you and I have talked about this before. The conservatives are not the racists in this country. Some of them are. I'm not going to, some of them are. I admit that.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot more liberal racists out there because they don't think black people can take care of themselves.
Well, no, that's absolutely true. So, anyway. That's true. Jim, you want to hear a couple more things? I think we should talk a little bit about these school protests again. For instance, USC cancels graduation ceremony after facing security concerns over pro-Palestine protests. We've seen these across college campuses now. what's weird, and they pointed this out. Actually, somebody did online, and I can't remember who, and I'd give them credit, but a lot of the tents look the same. Like they're all very. Like how do you get all of these Palestinian flags, all of these tents that are the same, unless it's funded by who, Jim? Who do you think is funding this?
George Soros.
George Soros is. Soros is funding it without a doubt.
Well,
and now Columbia, which costs $90,000 per semester, is going to have online classes. Of course, they've questioned the president of Columbia University. I've got a couple of videos if you'd like to hear that. First of all is Representative Stefancic, who questions the do I have that? Yep, I got that right here.
There's been a lot of discussion on Columbia's putting out a statement calling for the genocide of Jews. That statement was put out after the catastrophically morally repugnant answers by your colleagues from MIT, Penn, and Harvard, correct? That was when you put out that statement after that hearing?
Congresswoman, you shed a light on an important issue.
I'm just asking when you put it out. It was after that hearing.
It was definitely after it because
and you are aware that
obvious.
You are aware that Congress voted 377 to 44 condemning anti-Semitism. That is a strong bipartisan vote. Would you support that vote condemning anti-Semitism?
Yes.
And you are aware that in that bill that got 377 members out of 435 members of Congress condemns From the River to the Sea as anti-Semitic.
Yes, I am aware of that.
But you don't believe From the River to the Sea is anti-Semitic?
We have already issued a statement to our community saying that language is hurtful and we would prefer not to hear it on our campus.
You'd prefer not to hear it, or is there disciplinary action taken against students of those anti-Semitic statements?
They prefer not to hear
it.
I want an answer to that question.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, this is a couple minutes, but I think it's important.
Has there been disciplinary action taken against students who have chanted From the River to the Sea, which you have testified is anti-Semitic and which Congress has voted that it is anti-Semitic?
So we have some disciplinary cases ongoing around that language. We have specified that those kind of chants should be restricted in terms of where they happen.
We need
and
you
we are
to wrap
looking
it
at,
up, Dr. Schiff.
And we are looking at it. We are looking at it.
So here's my point to that. We know what From the River to the Sea means. Destroy all Jews.
Yeah.
We know what it means.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple. Now, how do you feel about free speech, Jim?
Completely against it.
My point is this. Are they allowed to say it? I that's fine. Chant what you want. But be consistent. We yell Make America Great Again, and we're Nazis and racists and sexists and homophobes and xenophobes and every phobes you can imagine. Probably even arachnophobes. We're probably afraid of spiders. Jim, right. But they can chant. Basically, these are modern day Nazis. That's a modern day Nazi. Right. That's a Zeke Heil to me chant. You know what I mean?
Well, it is.
It is. That's what that is. So that's fine if you want to chant it, but you should not be surprised for the consequences that happen to you from those actions. They should be expelled from college.
Right. And
expelled
because
from college.
By right, if a Jewish student would say, I don't care, kill all the Palestinians. I believe that individual should be punished as well. If
I agree,
that's where we're okay. We all know free speech, but there's consequences from when you do free speech.
Well, there is,
right? I mean,
you're allowed to say it, but that's not the point.
But I don't. If they say From the River to the Sea, it's horrible. It's terrible. But if you're going to punish somebody for saying Make America Great Again, Make America Great Again, that's hateful
America
speech.
first.
Be consistent, folks.
Yep,
that's right. Consistent. That's and I think that's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Just be consistent about it. Either you have freedom of speech or you don't. And then those who are offended by it, or those who are don't agree with it. And if you and I, if you and I just started walking out on the street together with signs that said "Kill all Jews," okay, how long would we have our jobs? Just our jobs. I'll just go that far. No, we'd be fired. Yeah, why? Because that is hate speech.
It was shown.
Yeah, it's hate speech is what it is. So there is it's our right to say it, but we can't be shocked by the consequences that happen from us saying it. So that's the whole point of it. So anyways, there's that. I've got
I have one more quick thing.
Yeah, please go ahead, Jim. I'm not trying to rush you.
What happened if no? What happened if these protesters are sitting on this campus with MAGA signs?
That's what I'm saying.
They would have them removed. Forcibly removed,
and they'd have no problem
I guarantee
with
you,
it.
I don't think they have permits. Now, granted, this is a private college, so they can allow it if they want to. But the point of the matter
the president of that college, go on.
Yeah, just don't sit there and let these individuals. If I was a parent, I would pull my child out and say, "You're not going anymore."
Well, there's a lot of Columbia students that are not accepting their acceptance to the college now because of it, and that's where it's going to hit them in the pocketbook, folks. Very rarely am I, and most of these people, they won't show their face. They're covered in masks. It's basically an Antifa gathering at this point, is what it is. That's basically what all this is. So you're not. The virtue signaling the whole holier than thou bullshit. You're on the wrong side of history here, and a lot of time young adults are on the wrong side of history, Representative Wahlberg also questioned from Michigan, the president of this is shorter. Let's hear that.
The day after the October 7th attack, Professor Joseph Mossad, and I only single him out amongst numerous others that I could single out, because he particularly is a tenured professor and chairs the School of Arts and Sciences Academic Review Committee. He wrote in an article praising, and I quote him, "the innovative Palestinian resistance," end quote, for attacking Israel and glorifying Hamas's slaughter of nearly 1,200 Jews as, and I quote again, "awesome, astonishing, astounding, and incredible." Do you condemn Professor Mossad's statement, and has he faced any consequences for it?
Congressman, I do condemn his statement. I am appalled by what he said.
Any consequences?
He has been spoken to. And I think you could.
So support of terrorism is acceptable if you're a Columbia professor?
Not at all.
Is he out of the classroom?
He is. I believe, to answer your question, he is no longer chair of that committee and does not have a leadership role.
Oh, well, that's good. He's still teaching that. This is what's being taught there. And you know what? They're starting out even younger, Jim. And I know I always take over the first half of the show, but they're starting even younger here. This, Jim, and I don't know if you've seen this. This is a preschool in Connecticut. Okay. Now pay attention to all of this. Have you seen this video?
Today what we're going to do is we're going to shout.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Can I hear that?
Drag queen.
If you're a drag queen and you know it, shout.
You're saying shout free pickles if you're a drag.
If you're a drag queen and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're a drag queen and you know it, shout. Excellent.
Free Palestine. Who are these fucking parents? Yeah. And I'm telling you, again, we talk about it from indoctrinating children from when they're young to that's how they become these assholes in college, right? It's exactly how they become them. Right there. That's it. Those are future Columbia University students that are on the wrong side of history. It's disgusting. But why do we fare drag queens in school? I don't know.
I'm going to tell you the jobs. Oh, we're homophobes.
We're homophobes. That's why. No examples of anything ever going wrong there.
Folks,
aggravating.
You just have to, and I know some people aren't going to pay attention because they don't care, but just if you want to know what the schools are doing to our children right now, and stop with COVID. It was going on long before COVID, folks.
Sure was.
Look at our working population now.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how hard it is to get people to work, whether it's in a factory,
Correct.
whether it's in a fast food restaurant, or whether it's in a business of any kind. They come in and they demand things.
Correct.
They demand things. They, okay, I need 2 weeks vacation to start. You've never had a job in your life. Right.
Yep.
But I need 2 weeks vacation.
Correct.
No, that's not how this works.
Correct.
We've seen it. I mean, we've seen this Gen Z and even millennials, okay?
Yeah.
We've seen these actions.
Yeah.
Folks, we're losing our retirement people. They're leaving. The good, hard, solid workers, whether you're Republican or Democrat, it didn't matter. They worked hard, okay?
Yep,
Most of them did. That's how they come out. These kids coming out of these schools right now, are you kidding me? This is why AI is coming around. This is why you go into McDonald's now and you don't even see anybody. You just put in your order and then walk up and there it is.
I like it better that way.
Actually, to be honest with you, yeah. But folks, and that's a perfect example of it. These kids have no idea what is going on. They have no idea what they're looking at.
And
none.
No.
They don't know.
But the parents do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Child services.
I just want to be, I'm just showing how inclusive I am. Yeah. For doing that, that's how we ended up with Barack Obama as president. I'm going to prove I'm not racist. I'm voting for Barack Obama.
Right.
Well, thank you very much. This is why we have dipshit at president right now.
And Dipper Shitter as vice president. So, Jim, get into a couple of your things, and then I'll come back to me, too.
Well,
so.
Our favorite governor in the United States of America.
Wait, I do have.
Don't want me to do that yet?
No, yeah, I do have 2 favorite governors in the United States of America, so I'm just trying to.
Okay. Now, Katie Hobbs.
But I know which one you're talking about.
The rightful winner of the governorship in Arizona. Folks,
yeah.
Now this goes on to say Hobbs stole the 2022 election from Governor Carrie Lake. And she is getting ready to rig the 2024 election for Joe Biden.
Yes.
Their state bill 2581 stipulates that a resident is an individual who has actual physical presence in the state for at least 181 days with the intent to remain, but provides exceptions for individuals who vote if they provide evidence of employment, residential property, child school enrollment, and I'll get to that in a minute, and active duty military. She vetoed this bill.
Of course. She vetoed more bills.
She vetoed it as flyers were instructing illegal immigrants to vote for Joe Biden. Well, why would there be flyers going to illegal immigrants? Because they can't vote.
Yeah.
Unless they do this. Folks, they're losing. Liberals are losing in this country now. People have woken up. Yep. We are waking up to this.
Correct.
Why do you think the borders are porous? Why?
Because
they need those voters. They need the votes.
They know, the Biden administration and Democrats know that is a major, major issue for Americans in this country. And simply by just reverting back to the pre-Biden administration and implementing the Trump acts of close the border, remain in Mexico, just by simply doing that, this would take a lot of shit off of his plate, right?
Yep.
But that's not enough to push him over the edge. He needs the names and he needs the people, and they know it. That's the only reason it's open. Come on. I mean,
and
wake up, Democrats.
So, but I wanted to talk about the children in school, because here's one I completely disagree with. And I know people are going to get, you live in Missouri. You go to school at Ohio State.
Okay.
Should you be allowed to vote in Ohio?
No.
Nope. I agree.
You vote absentee ballot from your state.
Exactly. Now, these individuals believe that a college student who is in Arizona should vote.
No.
In Arizona.
No.
But that's part of what she's saying.
That doesn't happen, does it, across the country?
Well, okay, but here's what worries me. What's keeping this individual from voting twice?
Twice? Nothing. This is exactly
nothing.
You're right.
It's to stop this. It's illegal to do that, by the way.
Oh.
You think they care?
No, it's illegal to cheat too. I mean, it's illegal.
Well, no, it's not. It's fine.
Yeah.
So now, folks, even if 1,000 students at Arizona University voted in Arizona for a Republican president, and then voted in their home state for a Republican president, no,
you can't vote twice.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that.
You vote at your residence,
right? Your residents. I know. They live in Ohio State. They live there, so they live in Ohio. They should be allowed.
I used to live in Ohio. Can I vote in both places? I mean,
yeah. See, there you go.
I mean, what?
Anyway,
this is
so.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jim. She's an idiot.
But you and I did talk about it, though. I kind of do like this because I'd rather have Carrie Lake as a senator than as a governor.
Too.
But with these illegal voters voting, she may not win.
Yeah, she probably won't. But here, she also vetoed another bill. Katie Hobbs vetoed another bill that would have defined sex as, quote, a person's immutable biological sex as determined by anatomy, physiology, genetics, and hormones existing at the time of the person's birth, and protected girls' showers in public K through 12 schools. That was what the bill was for. She vetoed it. SB 1182, the Arizona Accommodations for All Children Act, would have required public schools in Arizona to provide a single occupancy or employee shower room to students who are unwilling or unable to use the shared shower that corresponds to their sex. As the Gateway Pundit previously reported, Liberty High School in Peoria, Arizona, came under fire for allowing a male student to use the girls' locker room and showers alongside the girls. She has vetoed a bill because she's all for that. I don't think she's passed a bill. I honestly, I don't know the amount of vetoes yet, but it's in the hundreds of bills she has vetoed.
Hold on. It's in this story.
Is it?
Yeah, let me get to it real quick. Hobbs has vetoed over 185 bills since taking office last January. That shatters Democrat Janet Napolitano's record of 181 vetoes, and that was during her entire 4-year term. Yep,
that's right. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. This is completely ridiculous. Folks, this right here, anybody who votes to not make it illegal for an illegal to vote is stealing your election.
Exactly.
It's stealing your election. There's no other way. It's cheating. There is no other way to get around this.
Yep.
Okay. So, but yeah, Katie Hobbs, way to go, Arizona.
So she was also ranked as the third most unpopular governor in America with an approval rating of just 47%. Now, you said how many bills did she veto?
185.
All right, that has now gone up to 195 since she's taken office in January with the most recent bills she's vetoed. So that one included, this one included 195. And yes, Janet Napolitano's record of 181 vetoes during her 4-year term is also correct. She's going to double that. This is unbelievable. But anyway, so yeah, go on, Jim. What else you got there?
Well, okay, folks, we're finding a little bit more about the raid in Mar-a-Lago.
We are.
And much to Jack Smith's, he's not happy with it. Because guess what? Freedom of Information Act, we American people have a right to know. Right?
Once you finally can get
we have a right to know.
Yeah.
Took forever to get it. Guys, I just want to let you know that this title, and we can just leave it at this, and we'll go into a little bit if you want to, but it was revealed. Court document release indicates Jack Smith and FBI were after Obama and North Korea related documents in Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, why?
Not that he took top secret information from that he shouldn't have. It was because he had some information, possibly, that could have made Obama look really bad. President Trump said 2 years after he met with Obama on his 2017 inauguration that Obama was on the brink of starting a war with North Korea. Trump claimed that Obama was close to starting a big war. So the documents related to North Korea years later when it raided President Trump's iconic home in Mar-a-Lago and took President Trump's document that he legally had in possession per the Presidential Records Act. See,
correct.
There's rules, and that's why I sit there and say this man is being held under completely different than anybody else.
Correct.
And I'm not just talking president. I'm talking anyone.
Anybody else.
Anybody else.
Yeah.
He is being held. So you got to ask yourself, why?
Why? Why don't they want him in there so bad? Why? And if
So
he's so
basically,
beatable, like they say, why are you afraid to let him run? So
all these records that basically were taken were because of things they had possibly that made Obama look bad, which in turn would go against Biden.
Biden. That's right.
Right. Because he was vice
you're right.
president, correct?
That's exactly right.
So
100%.
And this is not conspiracy theory, folks. This is not. This is actual documentation that is out there.
Correct.
Now, I saw Rachel Maddow. She did an hour show on this.
Oh boy.
Not.
Didn't.
She did not. As a matter of fact, she's not even going to talk about it.
No, not going to bring that up. But just how Trump looks defeated and tired.
So now we're knowing. Now we're finding a little bit more about why exactly. Because you and I always questioned President Biden, as vice president, had documents, top secret documents, in his garage next to his, what is it, Corvette? Was that what he had? The green Corvette or whatever it was?
A combustible engine Corvette, by the way.
Yeah.
Not electric.
So he had the documents in this garage when Hunter allowed friends or colleagues or people he knew to stay in the
strippers, house. Drug dealers, yes.
That had access to those documents.
Correct.
He was never raided, and he was vice president.
He didn't have the right to have them.
Again, this is...
Again, double standard, witch hunt, the whole works.
Some more. You want to hear some more January 6th information?
I do, and we'll tell you why afterwards. But yes, I do want to hear January 6th information, please.
Folks, if you haven't already heard this, we already knew Bank of America, right?
Yeah.
Without being asked, without a subpoena, without anything else, gave records of what they did is they took all of the statements that was done during the time period of January 6th, a couple days before, a couple days after, right?
Yep.
And they took it and sent all of this to the FBI.
Correct.
FBI didn't ask for it. Okay?
No.
Well, guess what? Bank of America was not the only one.
Who did? Who else?
The other banks were Chase Bank, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Truist. They were already being investigated by GOP lawmakers. Charles Schwab.
Wow.
HSBC, MUFG, PayPal, Santander, Standard Chartered, and Western Union have been added to the probe.
Wow. All of them.
Folks, these individuals without a damn it, I said it before. I forgot what it is. A subpoena or whatever. Not
a subpoena or
no, what damn it. George ordered. Oh God, judge gives it. I said it earlier.
Yeah.
Damn it, I said it. Not a subpoena, but I have this in my hand. I can search your house. What is that?
Yes, yeah. It's a
warrant. Thank you. Without a warrant, these banks
I just wanted to see you struggle more.
I hate it when I said it once already. Anyway.
I know.
So now Jim Jordan is really going after this. Because this was completely against it. It's one thing if a warrant is issued.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. I want to see if this individual, you can't just, I want to see all individuals, because that's like saying, you know what, guys? We know the murderer is in that city.
Yeah.
So I'm taking every man aged 25 to 30, and we're doing a swab on him.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't do that.
My question is, though, yes, without a warrant, they did this. But I don't think without a phone call, they did it. I don't think they voluntarily did it. They're federally owned.
That is also a good point as well.
You're right. There was no warrant issued. I don't think they needed one. They needed a phone call that said, you better give us this information, or we won't bail you out the next time. You know?
Oh, and it's good to know that Janet Yellen is looking into this for us.
Oh, good. Yeah, she's great. But we bring up some of these January 6th things, folks, because we are going to have an interview in 2 weeks with the wife of a man who's falsely being imprisoned for the January 6th.
And it would be real interesting to ask her if this is how her husband was.
It would be, and I think that we'll get into that. We'll get into that, but we will have that interview in 2 weeks. You're going to not want to miss that. So looking very forward to it. Jim, that's right. More January 6th. Can I get in a little something here? Let's see. I don't want to talk about Ray Epps anymore on January 6th, so we'll skip that.
I know there was another story about him that keeps coming out, folks. Why is he
coming
still
up? Ray
around?
Epps, and he was implanted there, or he was an informant. That's all he was. One of the hundreds that we now know that were in the crowd, and I think that's how they all got busted. It's a scam. These people's lives are ruined. But Adam Schiff doesn't care. What he cares about is that his luggage got stolen, Jim. Democrats are struggling to face the consequences of their own policies as criminal justice reform has turned San Francisco and other California cities into havens for petty crime and smash and grab thefts. At the state level, Democrats are trying to pass laws to toughen penalties for property crime, but without touching Proposition 47 from 2014, which reduced penalties for theft and other crimes. Opponents of Proposition 47 announced last week that they have enough signatures to qualify reforms to put on the measure for November 2024 ballot. But in the meantime, U.S. Senate candidate Representative Adam Schiff had his luggage stolen in San Francisco on Thursday, leaving him without a suit as he addressed an audience that evening. So, California laws, good for you, Adam Schiff. How's that working for you? What's that race going on? Steve Garvey still winning that thing? Huh?
I haven't looked recently.
And yeah, I haven't either. We'll have to look and see what the poll numbers are. But hey, bad news for the Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction overturned by a New York appeals court. Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction was overturned by New York's highest court, citing the trial's judge's prejudicial handling of the landmark quote or hashtag Me Too movement case. The 4-3 decision on April 25th highlighted the judge's egregious missteps, including allowing testimony on allegations unrelated to the case, prompting to the court order a new trial. The decision is a painful episode in America's confrontation with sexual misconduct by influential individuals, a saga sparked by a deluge of accusations against Mr. Weinstein starting in 2017. The majority opinion in the Court of Appeals condemned the admission of unproven allegations, emphasizing that such actions merely tarnish a defendant's character without bearing relevance to their credibility concerning the charges at hand. He's 72 years old now, Harvey Weinstein. He's serving a 23-year term in a New York correctional facility for previous convictions. He's not out. It's over. The rape allegation is overturned. He's still in prison for other issues. But how does that feel, Me Too movement? And where's the protests? Is George Soros's money tied up in pro-Palestine movements now and not the Me Too movement? Or where are the vagina-wearing, hat-wearing women is what I'm asking. Where's Madonna?
We've always talked about this. Biden was accused of raping a woman, right?
By Tara Reid.
Yep.
Correct.
But it
Nope.
never went anywhere, right?
Don't believe her.
How many times did somebody bring something up about President Clinton? Never happened.
Well,
all a woman has to say, President Trump touched me 10 years ago. Oh, rapist, get him out of here. Get him going.
This bitch.
Inconsistency with Me Too movement. Ridiculous.
Yep. Correct.
Just a joke.
Correct.
It's a joke.
And when you think about the hush money trial going on with Trump, doesn't Stormy Daniels owe him $300,000 for it being false? That's public record. She lost that case and admitted that it wasn't true. And here's $300,000 I owe you. But here he is in the hush money. It's all bull crap. Jim, I got one video I want to play of I don't know if it matters or doesn't matter, and then we can finish up with you if you'd want, if you've got something to talk about.
Yeah, I love the alternating stories we do.
The New York, we are alternating, aren't we? Aren't you went on a couple? What do you got?
Sure, you do 3, I do 1.
You only had like 3. Go on. Oh, you even talk about AOC yet?
I'm getting to that's my next one.
Well, for Christ's sakes, get to it.
3 you have to do to my 1.
Well, I'm, since I'm the one who had 18 videos that I download and I'd search for, while you just briefly look on a computer, 5 minutes before the show starts. Hey, that's not my problem.
It's not 5 minutes before the show, but we're okay. We'll let you
go on.
Okay,
finish.
The New York City Police Department pushed back on an online scolding from AOC after officers from an anti-terrorism squad showed up outside an encampment of demonstrators at Columbia University.
Mm-hmm.
Protesters' tents popped up April 17th, the day Columbia's president, Minouche Shafik, was grilled about on-campus anti-Semitism by the House, blah, blah, blah. We saw videos of it, right? That's what it was.
Correct.
Truly amazing. Columbia decided to hold its students accountable to the laws of the school. New York chief wrote in his X, formerly known as Twitter. Again, he wrote, truly amazing. Columbia decided to hold its students accountable to the laws of the school.
Yep.
So they are seeing consequences of their actions, something these kids were most likely never taught. I love this, man. Good SAT scores and self-entitlement do not supersede the law. I am sure you would agree with that. Have to teach them these valuable skills.
Yep.
Come on. AOC had posted a video of the officers lined up and questioned the response. Not only did Columbia make the horrific decision to mobilize NYPD on their own students, but the units called in have some of the most violent reputations on the force, she said. NYPD had promised the city they wouldn't deploy SRG to protest, she said, referring to the New York Police Department Strategic Response Group. So why are their counter-terrorist units here? Because those individuals are terrorists.
Yeah.
On the campus.
Yep.
If we're terrorists saying America first, that's what they say, right? We are domestic terrorists.
That's right.
What is this?
At least.
Anyway.
Yeah.
AOC, keep opening your mouth. You just keep looking dumb.
Dang, is she such a buffoon? She is absolutely a buffoon. Jim, tell me about the GDP, because I don't think we got into that either, did we?
No, but real quick, surprise. I'm going to, the latest GDP numbers released Thursday sent shockwaves among economists and traders. Did it shock you, Dale? The data indicating
flabbergasted.
The economy is seriously slowing. Did it ever speed up?
Yeah,
I need to find that out because I don't ever remember it speeding up. Anyway, the Commerce Department reported Thursday that the U.S. gross domestic product in the first quarter rose just an anemic 1.6%, while analysts predicted 2.4%. It missed by 64%.
It's way off.
That's a big miss, guys.
That's a big miss.
So what happens is, now this is my opinion, and somebody can quote me on it that maybe know better. Oh, the GDP is going to grow by 2.4%. Hook, invest, do this, do that, do this.
Invest.
That's why they don't tell you the truth, folks. That's why the market is up and down. That's why everything in this country is up and down, because we don't trust these sons of bitches to save their lives.
Correct. That's right.
Okay. So, come on. 64% you're off? Really?
Yep. I mean,
if you would have said, well, we predicted 2.4, but it was 2.2, I'll give you that.
Then I could, okay. You're right. Then I can understand it. It's just like the unemployment, employment jobs. They created 325,000 jobs last month. Quietly, we have to revise that down to 110,000, later. It's incredibly true. You talk about investing and all that, Jim. The guy who wrote, and I'll have to look up his name again. I can't remember it. The guy who actually championed the bill to ban TikTok. All right. He wrote it, championed it. Right after he wrote that bill, he invested over $300,000 into Meta. So Facebook, Meta. And now when they brought it back up again and they voted to ban it, The very next day, that very next week, he invested like almost $750,000 into Meta. The guy who wrote the bill to ban TikTok then invests in TikTok's largest competitor, Meta. And he's a Republican, Jim. So I'll look up his name. I will look up his name. What else you got, Jim? Anything?
Well, just to add to a little bit to that, because, you know, this shortly after the bell Thursday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 660 points and NASDAQ declined 1.96.
But everyone's 401ks are doing great.
Folks.
So,
news feed. Ready? This is the news.
Please.
It's probably going to shock some people, but I need you, especially you. So you're sitting down, so that's good. Meanwhile, inflation is still higher than expected.
But Jim, it's not though. But see, here it is. Here's how it is. Inflation's only at 3.4% or 4%, right? Here's what so I heard a good analogy. I might have even said on the air already. But say, Jim, 3 years ago, you gained 10 pounds. Okay. And then 2 years ago, you gained 10 pounds. Last year, you gained 10 pounds. And so far this year, you've only gained 5. Have you only gained 5 pounds, or did you gain 35 pounds? All right.
That's a very good point.
That's how they say. That's how they tell you it. Inflation's only 4%.
Or it's nobody's falling for it.
Nobody's falling for it.
You go to the gas pump, you're paying. Of course, we do have these idiots on TikTok when you went live that one time that were saying that, you know, it's not that bad. We're better than other countries.
Oh yeah. Well, don't you know that the world is in inflation? And you said it best. You said we're supposed to be the leader in this nation.
Yep.
In this world.
And the sad thing about it,
we don't follow.
It's really sad. You know how to stop all of this stuff? And it's funny because how did President Trump do it when he first took office?
Well,
drill, baby, drill.
Drill, yeah.
Drill, baby, drill.
That's right.
Opened all this
America
stuff
first.
up. It did not take long for us to start turning around. Then he did the tax cuts.
Yep.
All right. The economy was absolutely booming.
Correct.
It was it was record setting of any.
Right.
I mean, it was phenomenal because we were energy dependent. We didn't rely on the people that hated us to get our oil. They were buying it from us.
Yep. Correct.
And so
he can't be controlled. His policies work, and that's why they go after
around. Yeah, just to change this thing around. All you have to do is say, okay, we're going to start drilling.
That's it.
Automatically, the economy changes.
We're going to start drilling. We're going to close the border. How popular would Biden be? We're going to start drilling. We're not going to rely on foreign oil any longer. We're going to close the border. We're not defunding the police. You know, we're a nation of law and order. If he said those things, I might vote for him. Come on, guys. I mean, literally, it's pretty obvious. Jim, I want to, if you're done, I don't know. I don't want to interrupt again.
Done.
So I just,
nope.
I didn't. Okay. No, seriously.
I just thought it was funny. You said we wrote
it is funny. I do 100 of them. I just want to end with this video. A New Yorker came to Florida to visit on vacation. And he decided to do something and gets kind of in trouble for it. So, I mean, but I just thought it's interesting and why he gets in trouble. New Yorker visiting Florida, being questioned by the police.
So I'm guessing you probably know what this is about, right?
Victor Alpha.
No.
I just checked my truck to see if I hit anything.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm investigating it's a criminal investigation, okay? So before I ask you anything, I'm going to read you your rights real quick. Okay. And then I'm going to show you a video and you can tell me if you remember what it's about after that. Okay.
1125 code 5.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of the rights I've explained to you?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Have you asked any law enforcement officer to speak to an attorney?
No.
Okay. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?
Yeah.
Okay. So anything you don't want to answer, you don't have to. Okay. So I'm going to show you a video real quick, and I'm just going to see if it jogs your memory about what happened in Winn-Dixie on Sunday night.
I was at Winn-Dixie to pick up some coffee and key lime pie.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember what you did when you walked out of Winn-Dixie? To the green Toyota Tundra. It was not raining.
Okay, I don't recall. Yeah, I thought it was raining, but
okay. The green Toyota Tundra pickup truck that you walked up to. You don't remember what you did?
I walked by a truck. Yeah.
Okay. What did you do to it?
I scratched it.
Why? Was it the bumper sticker? Because they've got a ton of security footage there, man.
Okay, so
I see you walking behind it, and you look over at it, and she's got a sticker that says "Let's go, Brandon" or something.
Yeah, I guess it infuriated me.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Was that it? That's the only reason you did it? You don't know who owns the truck or anything?
Yeah, that's the only reason I did it.
Unreal.
Okay. So you went on I could see you go on the passenger side, and you left a big scrape on that side, and then I saw you do a circle in the parking lot and come back to it and then go to the...
That's the only side I did.
Okay. She's already got a few dents and stuff on it, but she somehow knew that those were new scratches. And I could see like something black in your left hand.
Yeah, I won't.
Was it a key
I
or...
did it.
Was it a key?
No, it was my key fob. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have that with you? It's in the truck?
Yeah.
Do you have your ID with you as well?
Unbelievable. This is what we've come to.
Well, thank God they're doing something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they did because he had the woman had a bumper sticker that said, "Let's go, Brandon." He keyed her car. To be fair,
when I see Hillary Clinton 2016, I just laugh.
To be fair, when I see a Biden, build back better. Oh wait, I don't. So I can't. I guess
there's a few out there. The funny thing is, I do see Hillary Clinton 2016.
Yeah, I just
more than I see Biden.
They're still wearing masks while driving. That's what these people are doing,
folks.
So yeah,
just because you hate an individual, let me rephrase that. Just because something you don't like on a vehicle doesn't give you the right to damage it. Doesn't give you the right to go up to the person and yell.
This is a grown man. This is an our age kind of guy.
Yeah. Now
that's how mentally disturbed they are.
I am starting a petition in my neighborhood because I have two of them, and you know what I mean when how much this affects me. I see them with their Pittsburgh Steelers flags in their garage, and I am so freaking offended.
I'd go tear it down.
It hurts me. It bothers me. So I have petitioned to have them remove it because it bothers me.
It infringes on your rights, Jim. You can't exist with those flags.
It does. You know how Pittsburgh affects me.
I do.
It's just I see somebody walk in with a Pittsburgh jersey hat on, and automatically I just want to go up to them and say, "You suck." Okay.
It's like the Michigan Cheaterines, folks, and how they affect.
I have to get over it.
Yeah.
I just have to get over it and realize they have a right to cheer for the worthless pieces of shit all they want to.
It's their God-given right as an American. Yeah.
Because Dale is a Big Ten fan. He had his maize and blue on during the championship game.
No.
Anyway, folks, get over it.
Just get over it.
Things affect us differently. I look
bumper
at a
sticker.
Right. Just let it go.
It's the mentally disturbed, Jim.
I mean, that's the best thing that came out of Frozen. Let it go.
The only good thing. Liberalism is a mental disorder, Jim. We say it constantly on the show.
It is.
And we prove
they are miserable.
We prove it.
They're never happy, and they prove it all the time. They are not happy people.
They're miserable. They're whiny little bitches.
Look at AOC,
just like
the frown line she
bitches.
has.
Huh?
Look at AOC's frown lines.
Oh, God. I mean, I see more of her.
They're never happy.
Donkey face when she's laughing.
They're never happy.
They're never happy. They're never happy. Jim, that is all for today. Again, thank you. One show this week. We will be back next week with two shows. We got two interviews that week. One of them is with the wife of somebody incarcerated for January 6th. Super sad.
Looking forward to that.
Fighter. She's definitely a fighter. And also, I don't know if you guys remember the Trump flotilla that happened back in 2016. That gathering, probably world record-breaking gathering of boats with Trump flags, and it was all down. We have the creator of that as well. He's going to come on and tell us all about that and what happened subsequently after that. And will he do it again this year? That'll be the interesting part. Jim, all that. Anything else to say?
Mm-mm.
All right.
Nope.
God bless America. God bless you and your family.
America.
Jim, be safe.
And you.
Everybody have a great rest of your week. We will update you when we come back with anything we've missed. Until then, thank you for your support. Like, follow, and share on Rumble. And don't forget our friends at Grit Gear, the Warrior Shield, Lock and Load Coffee, Freedom, Ring Apparel. Don't forget all of them. So many people to support out there and put your money to, and those are good ones to do it too. So everybody, thank you again. Jimmy, you're the best. We'll talk soon. Bye.
You've been listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim. Remember, you can watch on YouTube and Rumble and listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you like what you hear, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it, and it helps others find us when searching for podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and TikTok. Just search for Two Guys, One Coup. That's the number 2, guys, and the number 1, Coup, C-O-U-P. Thanks again for listening to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast, and God bless the United States of America.